Hello, welcome back, strangers, eh? It's been a whole week, oh my god. Hope you've all had an awesome weekend. Good on you, the Queen's birthday, public holiday on Monday. Okay, KFC chicken is what we're going to make, and we're going to make it into a Snitty Pack, mate. The first thing we do is we want to get all of my 11 secret herbs and spices together for the coating. So, alright, so obviously there's 11 of them, and I'll write them all down below in the quantities that you do it in. Now I double my recipe, that way I've got a lot and I only have to do it once every now and again. Now don't freak out because it's so many spices. Once you've got them all, you'll start using them all in all different recipes anyway, and they're really awesome to have. It took me a while to get them, so that's why I just want to explain a few to you. Alright, so the paprika, onion salt, celery salt, and sage leaves are all really simple. You can just get them at any of your grocery stores in where all your spices are. Now, I couldn't find ground garlic. It's really hard to find. So if you can't find it either, I just get the garlic granules. I'll put that in first and ground them up myself. That's all you can do, really. Alright, so mixed spice, oregano, chilli, grounded chilli. Now for the peppers, I just get your normal black peppers and I just grind them down too. So you've got your ground black pepper. Alright, basil. And then now your majoram is the only one I couldn't find in a jar. So you'll have like spices in bags next to them somewhere. Just have a look and you'll find the majoram there. Like I said, I'll write it all down below for you. But I just wanted to let you know that, yeah, you won't find that in a jar. You've got to find it in a bag. Alrighty, so put them all in a thingy together. Now, like I said, I doubled up the recipe. That way I only have to do this once every now and again. Alright, give them a really good mix through, like really, really good. Now, as you can see, she makes a boatload up. That way you don't have to worry about doing this again for ages. So every time we're going to make a batch of KFC chicken up, we'll use 6 teaspoons of this, so you can imagine how many batches of chicken you can make up with it. So definitely give it a crack, alright? You've got to give it a crack. Now this chicken is just as nice cold as it is hot. It is absolutely moorish. So I wanted to trick the kids one day, so I got a KFC bucket, went down there and asked them for a couple of empties, and come home and made it up and chucked it all in the bucket and put it out, and they all smashed it and couldn't tell the difference. And I said to them, nah, I made that, and they all called me a liar. How awesome is that? Now we're going to make the flour mix up to coat our chicken with. So first of all, we want 1.5 cups of plain flour, roughly. We're going to need 3 teaspoons of brown sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. Make sure you don't go over, if anything, a little bit under with the nutmeg. So 1 teaspoon. Now we need 6 teaspoons of our 11 secret herbs and spice mix we just made. Now we want to mix it in really well, and the brown sugar, you kind of got to squash into it, alright? Squash all the balls out, you'll see them as you're mixing it. Then we're going to set it aside. So there's 2 really important things to making it the best chicken snitty pack ever. The KFC, homemade KFC chicken, and the bacon gravy, mate. So first of all, we're going to chop up and fry up some bacon and onions. So I've got a small onion and I've got... say 4 tops of bacon chopped up. Alright, we're going to fry them up and put it aside for a minute. I'm cooking for a boatload tonight, so I'm going to make up a big gravy. Now, I've got 3 cups of cold water. First thing I'll always do is put a heaped spoonful, a really heaped spoonful of corn flour. Wah! Almost dumped the whole lot in. Now, I like doing it in a jug because you can mix it up a lot easier and then put it into your saucepan. But if you haven't got a jug, just do it in your saucepan. So if you mix up a heaped spoon of this first, it makes your gravy, even though you've got to use a ton of it anyway, go a bit further and help it thicken. Otherwise you'd have to use like 10 spoons of your gravy. Now, because I'm doing a big one, I'll actually get 4 heaped ones of these, one at a time, and mix it in. I use this rich Magic gravy mix, but hey, any instant gravy mix you got will do, and it doesn't even matter if it's a cheapo one, because once you chuck your bacon and onion in there, you're laughing. So I'll do that and set it aside for a minute. So the reason why we're doing our gravy now is because when we start frying our chicken, it gets really hectic. So if you do your gravy, you can set it aside, and then when you're just about to serve, you can whack it on the stove top for a minute, heat it back up, and she's apples. Alright, so give your gravy mix a stir. Pour it in your saucepan. put in all your bacon and onion. Now you want to put your stove top on as close, you don't have to put it on full high, but close to high. Alright, now gravy will not thicken until it starts boiling. So stand there and constantly stir it. As soon as it starts boiling, it'll start thickening. It can take up to 2 minutes. And you pull it off when you've got it at the thickness that you like. Now the other option with the Snitty Pack is peas, alright? Half the kids don't like them, half the kids do like them. So I'm just going to get some frozen peas, boil them up softly, so we've got them ready, sprinkle them all over our Snitty Pack. Alrighty, for the Snitty Packs, I use breast chicken, okay? Now the flour mix is enough for 3 large breasts, but a couple of these are medium, so I'm going to use 4. Alright, now I like to slice them up this way, and I'll try and do them roughly the same thickness. That way when we're deep frying them, they'll all fry at the same time. But once you've chopped them all up, you'll get your thicker top pieces, and then you'll get the thinner bottom pieces. So I just put the thinner ones on one side and the thicker top pieces on the other side. Then when we go to deep fry them, you do all the thick ones with the thick ones, and you do all the thin ones with the thin ones. Wrap it up, chuck it in the fridge for a minute. What I forgot to say is it'll make a boatload up, but don't worry about it. Just make the boatload up. Whatever you don't use, you can just wrap and put in the fridge and take it to work tomorrow, chuck it in the kids' lunch boxes. It is so yummy cold. Make sandwiches out of it. It doesn't matter. It will not go to waste. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our frozen chips in the oven. Now, if you want to make the most out of your frozen chips, just go by the directions, but always make sure your oven is at the proper heat, okay? It's got to be really, really hot at the temperature they say for them to come out really good. And the only other thing you want to make sure you do to make them perfect is always have it single layered. If you have them all on top of each other, they'll come out soggy. And the third thing is that always halfway through your cooking time, flip them all over, and you'll have perfect chips out of your oven every time. So they're going to go straight in, and then I'm going to get the oil out and put it. I like using my small deep fryer, and I use 2 litres of canola oil. Now if you can afford it, definitely go with peanut oil, but if you're like me and can't, canola oil will work just as good. And I like using the little one because I only use 2 litres, because once you're finished, your oil's stuffed. Alright, this chicken will stuff your oil. So if you do it in a big 4 litre one or something, you're just wasting a lot of oil, which is wasting a lot of money for no reason. Alright, so chips in and get the oil on and heating up. Oh, and at the same time, I'm going to put my peas on the stove top on low. Now you can use paper towel if you want and put them on plates and get them ready, but I think paper towel is just a waste of money. I'll just get a cookie tray, and I've got my drying tray, whatever you want to call it, cooling rack, and put it on top. If you don't have a cooling rack, you can pull one of your racks out of your oven and sit that on top, and it works just as good. Now when we're cooking the chicken, it stays hot for ages, which is really good. So we can load this up while the chips are going and the peas are going, and then we'll heat the gravy up and we'll smash it all out. While the oil's heating up, you want to get 2 eggs and roughly 1/3 of a cup of milk. Whisk it all up with a fork together. Now you can cheat. Instead of doing your oven chips, you can go down the takeaway store and buy the chips and just do your own gravy and chicken. But I don't have the money at the moment, and with the kids I like doing them in the oven first anyway. So what I'll do is 2 batches. I'll do a batch up for all the kids, stop everything, turn it all off, have a break for a minute, and then I'll go again and do the whole lot for the adults. Alright, so limited space as usual. So what I'll do is I'll do 1 batch up. So I'll just, alright, so the egg's there, alright, we just dip it in the egg. So I'm going to do the little short fat ones first, okay? So dip it straight in our egg, and then into our flour mix. Push it down a couple of times really hard. Alright, and then shake it off a little bit and set it aside in the corner, and do enough for 1 load in your fryer. Once we've got our oil nice and hot, shake off our excess, and in they go. Now while the first lot are cooking, you want to flour up your second lot and have them sitting there ready to go. So I just chop 1 in half because these are pretty big ones, just to make sure they're ready. Once they're ready, out onto your cooling rack, and keep going. Check these absolute beauties out, mate. Alright, one, you've done enough for however many you're doing at the time. The perfect Snitty Pack, schnitzel pack, is that you only have to use a fork. So I'll chop all these up into big chunks, big enough to get in their big mouths. And when you get these schnitzel packs from the takeaway shop, you've got 10 ton of chips and hardly any chicken. Not when you make them yourself, mate. It's completely the opposite. You don't need a lot of chips, okay? One serving, you don't need a pile of chips on there. Like a salt. Gotta have the chicken salt. Now, this is all optional, okay? But if you want the best chicken schnitzel pack ever, get into that chicken salt. I love to sprinkle a little bit of pizza cheese. Just a little bit. Sprinkle just a little bit of our bacon gravy. Just a little bit to start with. Chicken on. Mate, pile her up. I like leaving a couple of pieces just to sit on after again. Now, if you're into peas on. Oh yeah. Gravy on top. Just, whoa. It's all optional, little or as much as you want. And a couple more bits of chicken just to tease ya. Oh! Yum! Check that out, my friends. A chicken schnitzel pack. Perfect for any little king or queen. This is a kid size, remember? Go there for the adult size. Look, I tell you, it'll cost as much as maybe 3 schnitzel packs from the store, but you'll make enough for 7 or 8. You'll double, if not almost triple, and there's double the amount, if not triple the amount on them as well. So they're well worth doing yourself, and I'm telling you what, I'm famous for them. I've got them all lined up in there. Thanks heaps for watching, guys. Have yourselves an awesome night. I'll be back. Bye.